let's head over to the town again, because there's a couple of things that we can do there now. Okay. So, or is it here that I want to come just yet? Maybe not just yet. Let's go to the bakery, actually. Oh. Okay. No. Let me out of the menu. Stop it. Okay, so this is a thing in other games that's problematic. Because this only happens once, and if you're too slow, guess what? Your games become unwinnable. So what we need to do is throw the shoe at the cat before it gets the mouse. And look at that, we missed. So if we were playing a different version of this game, we'd be in trouble. But thankfully for us, they fixed it in this version. So is it going to come back? Let's go in here and come back out and see if that helps. Which I think it should, hopefully. Maybe. Anyway, we'll go back there in a moment. But for now, let's have a look at this haystack. Large haystack dominates the area in front of the barn. We can try searching it now. And look at that. Graham watches with surprise as a contingent of ants marches into the haystack and begins to swarm through it. There we go. Our good friend King Antony has done us a solid. I'm glad to see there was a way that we could be of help to you. Look here, we found a golden needle in the haystack. I'd like to present it to you. Perhaps you can find a use for it. Why, thank you, King Antony. I'm honored. Good luck in your travels, King Graham, and be careful. And off they go. Okay, so that's an important item that we'll need shortly. But for now, let's go back to that bakery. If we can manage to deal with that cat, we will. But let's have a chat with this nice fellow again. Graham waits to further bother the baker until a decision for his purchase has been made. Okay. Well, we should probably buy a pie. That's a good idea. So let's give that to Mr. Baker friend here. Oh, sir, I would like to buy a pie. The pies cost 1 silver coin each. I've got it right here. Here you go. I hope you enjoy your custard pie. Oh, I'm sure I will. Okay, there we go. So that's awesome. Let's save our game. All right. So I wonder if I need to go and look at the cat again. But anyway, we got a golden needle. And the tailor shop obviously uses needles. So let's see if this guy wants that. I think that he does. This is a large golden needle. Okay, let's give it to this guy. My golden needle, wherever did you find it? Hey, we didn't even know you were looking for it. And that's one of the things with these games, right? Like, you're never quite sure what to try. So eventually you try everything with everything. But as an adult, I find this game makes a lot more sense to me than it did as a kid, at least, on the bright side. But yeah, we give it back to this guy. It was found in a haystack by the inn. By the inn? Oh yes, I remember visiting there not long ago. A vulgar man, that innkeeper. He has no scruples at all. He threw us in a cellar in a former life. Well, I'm glad to see you've got your golden needle back. I wonder, could you possibly see fit to give me that wonderful cloak in exchange for it? The cloak? Well, why not? It's yours for the price of a golden needle. All right, so we've got another key item for us. Thank you, kind sir. I'm sure it will help me in my travels. I'm sure it will. Good luck. Au revoir. All right, so I think we're done with this shop in particular. We still have the toy shop and the shoemaker to visit again eventually. We've gotten our pie. And next, can we respawn this yet? Maybe we have to go in here and look at the cat. And maybe that'll kind of redo that scene. Large mangy cat. I don't know what specifically triggers that scene to happen. I know that it's not gone forever because it should be able to repeat itself. I'm going to get that boot ready just in case. Okay. Now if I leave and come back, I wonder. Yeah, there we go. So we got to get over there. Oh, I missed. And I missed again. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. We scared that cat right away. Oh, hello, little guy. Oh, thank you, good sir. You saved my life. My children and I will never forget your kindness. Maybe someday I will be able to return the favor. Oh, I hear my children calling. Goodbye, until we meet again. Wonder how many kids that mouse has. I think a mouse gestation is something like 21 days. He could have a lot of kids for all we know. All right, so a couple of things that we can do now is head up to the dark forest. We have enough items where we're going to be able to actually get back out again. So you might recall me mentioning earlier on in the playthrough that you're unable to leave the forest once you get in unless you have some specific items, and I think we have what we need at this point. So let's save our game and we're going to head on up there and hope for the best. Oh, head right by that poisonous snake. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is put on this amulet. Now you may recall that we've run into a woman who was turned into a tree by dark magic. And so as soon as we enter this forest, there's a witch in there who wants to get us. So we're going to put this amulet on. The magic amulet begins to glow softly as Graham slips it over his head. He then carefully tucks the amulet into the front of his tunic, hiding it from sight. Okay. So now if we go in here, we're not going to get zapped. Oh no, I'm not going in there. Can't you read the sign? Shut up, Cedric. I mean, come on, Cedric. There might be something important in here. Go if you want to. I'll wait here. Wonder if Crispin's disappointed. Let's try going this way. Oh, and there's that witch. So that little blast there would have normally destroyed us. Like we would have died immediately. To Graham's great relief, it appears that the witch's magic has been stopped by the amulet he wears, just as Madame Mushka claimed it would. Well, let's try speaking with this witch, because she's not very nice. What are you doing in my forest, young man? Don't you know you're trespassing? Oh, I didn't know this was a private forest. Do you own it? Of course I own it. It's mine. And what did you do to my magic? I don't think you need to know. Now tell me something. How does one leave this terrible forest? I'll never tell. I'm afraid you're stuck, dearie. Now you're my prisoner. We'll see about that. Yes, won't we? And forever, as you walk through this place, she just looks at you and is obnoxious. And here is some interesting music. A large rock blocks further passage to the west. Of all the ugly hags Graham has seen in his life, this is by far the ugliest. Being like that to the witch is not probably a very good idea. Okay, so it looks like we're not able to interact with this rock. And of the items that we have in our possession, we're currently not able to do anything about the rock. But let's go have a look over here. Well, this looks like her house. Now, it's not very obvious, as I learned the hard way one time, but you can actually fall off the side of this thing. I'll just save and I'll show you. One thing that this game is missing is actually the scream. I don't know if you guys have heard the scream that Graham lets out. I'm just going to call this one 0. But in the PC version, when he falls off of a ledge, he lets out this blood-curdling scream, even if it's just from like a foot off the ground and he falls into like some water and dies. Like, anyway, he doesn't do that here, but see, there he goes. Gotta watch those drop-offs, Graham. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to show you that specific thing. But either way, there's actually an easier way to get rid of this witch, because she's blocking our path to get into this house. And if we take a look, one of the items that we did pick up was a bottle. It's but a common brass bottle. So if we look at this ourselves, I'll show you what happens. So a cute little cutscene. Ah, freedom at last. Now you spend the next 500 years in that bottle. Bloop, 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 bloop. In we go, right? So that's a death for us. We're stuck in there. I can never ever get the Aladdin scene out of my head when Genie's first released from the bottle. I shouldn't be keeping things bottled up inside, Graham. So anyway, we don't want this particular fate, but guess who we can potentially subject to a similar fate, if not perhaps the exact same fate. So let us instead show our newfound bottle to this nice lady. What's this? Bloop, bloop, bloop. Ah, freedom at last. In you go. No more being a jerk to everybody. Good, that old witch won't be seen here for a long time. But now, how to get out of this dreadful forest? Okay, so now we can go ransack her house. Isn't this nice? Okay, let's take a look around. The old witch's house has been crudely fashioned from an old tree trunk and salvaged stone. It has a cold, creepy feeling to it, and Graham would just as soon leave. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can get in here. See, we have a little glint coming out of this lantern. An interesting incense burner hangs from a protruding tree branch. Occasionally from within it, a tiny glint winks. Oh, did I accidentally leave? Don't want to leave yet. And then there's other stuff to observe as well. So there's this. Graham spies a crude drawer built into the trunk of a tree, which is poking awkwardly through the house. And there's also this. Graham sees an intricate trunk under a large crack in the wall, which seems to serve as a window. So let's pick all these things apart. They're all important and all very easy to miss, of course. There's a leather pouch inside the drawer. Graham takes 3 beautiful emeralds from it. Okay, let's search the incense holder. What's this? Why, it's a little key. And the trunk. Inside the trunk, Graham finds an interesting little spinning wheel. Okay, so those are the 3 items that we need from this place, so we can go. All right, careful not to plummet to our doom, of course. We'll head this way. It looks like a bunch of terrible spikes over there. We're going to take the awfully long way around and have a look at this. A crude little door built into the trunk of a large twisted tree catches Graham's attention. Everything in this game is crude. Crude doors fashioned into trees. I think we use the key on the door. A little golden heart has been placed inside the crude door of the twisted old tree. That must belong to our weeping willow friend. Look how beautiful it is, eh? All those glow lines. Reaching a hand into the open door of the tree, Graham extracts the little golden heart. Okay, so let's save before we go any further. It's a good idea.